Welcome to the Kickstart My Franchise podcast. I'm your host, Tim Michaels. Today, I am joined by Drew McWilliams, co-founder and CEO of an exciting brand called Ivybrook Academy. Thanks for joining us, Drew.
Tim, pleasure to be on. Excited to talk with you today.
Well, let's jump right into things here. So what is Ivybrook Academy?
So Ivybrook Academy is a children's preschool. We specialize in the half-day preschool market. What that really means is that there's a great number of children's preschools or daycares that are across the country that serve a great need for our society. Most household names probably people know of are going to cater to dual working parents where children are dropped off at 7:30 in the morning and picked up about 6:30 in the evening and spend all day there. Breakfast, and there's some academics and lunch and naps. How Ivybrook differentiates itself is that we cater to the stay-at-home parent population, or the rising work from home parent population has certainly helped us the last 4 years, and I don't see that trend going away. So we have a session of students that come for 4 hours in the morning, or we have a session of children that come for 4 hours in the afternoon. And parents get to pick which schedule is best for them, for their children, and for their personal situation. So we're a little bit different, and we're a little bit unique, and have been doing this for 18 years now.
That's fantastic. That was going to be my next question, is when you first opened. But I guess to pivot slightly, what ages do you serve?
Yeah, we cater to children between the ages of 18 months, so a year and a half, the whole way up through age 6. So right before they go off to kindergarten. And actually, some of our locations across the country, we actually do have a private kindergarten program implemented into our schools.
And is this a 5-day-a-week program, or do parents have the option of sending their kids a couple times a day, or is that up to the individual franchisee?
Yeah, great question. No, there is a standard programming list of options that are available. The easiest way to think about it is a 1.5-year-old, they're going to come 1 day a week, 2-year-old comes 2 days a week, a 5-year-old comes 5 days a week. And you kind of fill in that gap in between. So as a child gets older, they have the ability to attend our schools longer, which is giving them not only the academics to set them up for success for kindergarten, first grade, but it's also giving them that socialization as well. But at the same time, a lot of parents elect to stay home to spend more time with their children before they go off to kindergarten or first grade. So this has been an ability to be a great hybrid to give children what they need, but also be able to give parents what they're looking for as well.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a very unique concept when you're talking about the typical daycares and people dropping their kids off at 7:30 and picking them up at 5:30. I had some dad guilt there because that's definitely what we do. Um,
I can
but
appreciate that. There's a lot
I'm
of parents
curious.
out there that enroll their children in a full day daycare, and they pick them up at halfway through the day or 1 or 2 o'clock, right? Because they have that
Mhm.
parent guilt, right? Well, we offer the ability to be able to have that academics, and your tuition probably is cut in half. So
Fantastic. How did you come up with this idea?
I married very well in life, Tim. So uh, I married my college sweetheart, who
Congrats.
thankfully is trained to be a teacher. Yesterday was our 20th anniversary. So we've been in business for 18 years, been married for 20. And by background, my wife, Jennifer, is a elementary and early education major. So she was a first grade teacher, and my background being in real estate, but she was a first grade teacher, public education for a number of years. And before we even had children, she was coming home saying that the children just weren't, prepared. And she was spending half of the academic school year just getting them up to grade level to where she was able to teach them what was on the curriculum for the year, for the learning objectives. And I think we live in a pretty good school district too. So she saw the need, and I saw the demand. So we paired that together and realized that when our heart and our head align, then we know we're on the right track with things in life. And Ivybrook Academy was created.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned that, it's sort of 2 half-day periods. What are the actual operating hours across the day?
Yeah, so I'll break down twofold: how our staff and employees, and then how the students come. Right. So most of our staff around the country they start at 8 a.m. Students for the morning session they report at 8:15, and they go the whole way till 12 o'clock. So it's a 3 hour and 45 minute day. Then the students all go home at noon. There are some exceptions across the country, depending on the program, where we do have a dual session option where students are able to stay for the morning and afternoon session. That varies by location. And then the afternoon session starts at 12:45 and goes to 4:30. So it's another 3 hour and 45 minute session where teachers are having a lunch break in between and getting ready for the afternoon session. So morning session, afternoon session, and then we do have some limited availability where students, especially our older students, they're definitely ready for a longer day, are able to enroll in both.
So from a franchisee perspective, it sounds like you've been able to maybe cut down on the complexity of having, a food service delivery
Right.
for all these meals. I assume maybe there's some sort of snack
Yeah.
typically, or
Yeah, my running joke is that we keep Pepperidge Farm in business. So, man, we buy goldfish, I think, by the crate, and Cheerios, plain Cheerios, equally by the ton. So, definitely snacks. If we're having students staying for dual sessions, obviously we're providing a more nutritious meal for them. But yeah, we cut down on all of the things that daycares have. We don't have a kitchen. I don't need a food prep service. I don't have to have a cook on staff. We equally don't have busing. That is a big complexity component that we've been able to not have to navigate. So we've taken all the best things, and really what I want to make sure that we really talk about the most is it's academics. I mean, students are really coming to us, and parents are coming to us and enrolling in our program truly because it's not play based, it's academic based. And the analogy that I use is, I grew up and I went to a church based preschool, right? It was like in the basement of my church growing up, and it was really cute. We sang songs. I remember playing a lot, and I remember Thanksgiving time. You put your hand on a piece of paper, you trace it, and you turn it into a turkey. That's really cute, right? That's what 3-year-olds do there, and I'm sure my mother still has pictures of that. 3-year-olds at our school across the country at 3, they're making Venn diagrams, they're learning Spanish, they're doing abstract art. Last week they were doing replicas of Van Gogh Starry Night. I mean, it's an academic environment which is very heavy Montessori and Reggio Emilia based, and both great environments, just a little bit different basically for what we're able to accomplish.
it's fantastic. What are the backgrounds of the teachers?
Yeah, I mean, these are true educators. So we're hiring people that are educators, whether they came from a public or a private school background. A lot of our educators used to be teachers in one of those environments. They were the people that elected to stay at home to raise their child before they went to school. And now they're looking to come back, and they don't want to go back to public school. Because I remember my wife, it's not all about money, but I think she spent more money on student supplies and bringing pencils and crayons in at the end of the year than she actually got paid. I think it was a detriment at some point. But we have those people that they don't want to bring home work or grade papers or tests and homework at the end of the day. At the end of our day, 4:30 is 4:30. There's nothing for our staff to take home. So it's been amazing, the people that we attract as customers end up also becoming a really great part of our education staff and educators moving forward.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. As far as growth, how large are you guys? How fast are you growing?
Yeah, we're extremely conscientious of our scaling. I do not want to have an Ivybrook location on every street corner around the United States. And I believe our brand and our company is growing because our franchisees resonate with our growth. Our trajectory is to grow about 18 to 25 locations per year max. Over the last 3 years, we've been growing at about a clip of about 15 per year, which is great, sustainable. That to us is a sustainable growth path because we're still extremely involved and continue to be extremely involved, for eons and eons to come. And what that means is I don't want a company that grows so fast, my wife and I, that we have to have a gatekeeper to take our phone calls. All of our franchisees have all of our personal cell phone numbers, and when they need us, they text us, they call us. So no gatekeeper. That being said, my staff is pretty deep. In the franchise industry, the ratio of franchise or staff to number of franchisees that are open is typically about a 1-to-8 ratio. One franchise or staff can support 8 franchisees. My ratio is 1.33 right now, and I plan to keep it that way. So we're a very relationship-based company. We're not dealing with widgets. We're not dealing with, home services. We're dealing with people's most precious thing that they have in their life. It's their children. There has to be that personal relationship, not only from franchisee to customer, but from franchisor to franchisee. It's very much a team relationship. To answer your question, size-wise, where we're at, yesterday we just awarded our 110th location. So we have 110 locations across 21 different states now that we've awarded. We have opened up 41 are opening as of this recording. We've got so it's about a little more than a third have opened. I've got about a third under construction. And then the last third are people that have signed multi-unit agreements that they have a paced out schedule of when the second or third location would open in the future.
That's awesome. It's tremendous growth.
Thank you.
As far as the ideal sort of background or skill set for franchisees, is there a specific quality you're looking for?
Yeah, someone that's passionate about children, helping the community, and doing good. So, yes, I would say our franchise owners. There's every company has different slang term. I really do my best. I do not use the term franchisee. They're franchise owners. They own their own business. Also, daycare is a slang term. We don't say that either. That being said, everybody comes from different backgrounds. The overwhelming theme is people are burnt out on corporate America. I mean, that's pretty much it. And they want to create their own trajectory in life. But, the backgrounds and the resumes are completely different. What is completely the same for every single franchise owner that I have, Tim, every single one, is they have a heart of gold. I mean, I truly believe they have a heart of gold, or they wouldn't be in this business. How many businesses are out there where, yes, are you able to make it a profit? It is a for-profit business. There's no doubt about that. But also, you're impacting the community and children's lives. And, when you're going to the grocery store, out to dinner, someone comes up to you and says, "Hi, Mr. Drew. Hi, Miss Jennifer." And it's a 5-year-old, right? How awesome is that, right? How good of a feeling when you go to bed at night? How few companies are there out there that can have both? So the franchise owners that we bring in and the candidates, they get that. They understand that. That is more important to me than someone says, "Hey, I'm from sales or tech or I was a teacher." So wanting to have that kind of legacy, give back, has been extremely important to us.
Yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense. Are these always owner operators, or do you have some operating semi-absentee?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. I'll be the first one that says, the more that somebody is involved in the business, absolutely the better results they're going to get. I mean, there is a 1-to-1 correlation with this. Again, this is a relationship business. It really, really is. Now, I'm talking to you from my home office right now, and I still run a corporate location for the last 18 years. I have really good people in place. I really, really do. And hopefully they feel like I treat them like gold, because I very much do. But, it comes with time. The absolute shape of what a franchise owner should look like is it's somebody that wants a semi-absentee ownership company. And what I mean by that is, year one, are you going to be a little bit more involved? Absolutely, right? You have to pour into your people. You got to pour into your staff. You got to pour into your customers. And then guess what? It's given back tenfold, right? And then you have the ability after that first year to kind of step it back to the point where, you can be extremely absentee after some time. But again, there is a direct correlation to the people that are involved in their business more are definitely the people that are reaping more rewards. If I can quantify that, I know most of our franchise owners are spending about 20 hours a week or so, actually working in the business.
Yeah, wow, that's great. Provides tremendous work-life balance, it sounds like. As far as the competitive landscape, like who do you consider to be your competitors? Like is Goddard a competitor or what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, Goddard and Primrose are the biggest daycares in the country with, circling right around 500 units across the country, just 800-pound gorilla. They're not our competition. We're across the country. We're in the same parking lot or right across the street from them. And it's a complementary business because if there's a household that has dual working parents and needs that, we're going to refer them to the closest neighbor that we have. We're not competing with them whatsoever. And they're not competing with us. So our competitor across the country has always been typically the religious institution or the YMCA that offers a half-day service. The half-day preschool model has been around for, oh my gosh, over 50 years. Again, not to date myself in my mid-40s, but that's the program I went to 45 years ago. We've just been able to offer a better service. And I have two children in middle school, and I've brainwashed them to be an entrepreneur from the time of birth. And I ask them all the time, and if they were here, they would repeat this question and answer. And I always tell them, if you're going to start a company, what are the two things that are going to make you successful? And the standard answer by default is A, you've got to create something that's new that somebody hasn't done yet, or B, you've got to make something better. So we've just gone out there and we've made something better that's been around for decades.
Fantastic. I'm sure you guys have some lemonade stands or something going during the summer, so
It's
love to see
it's
it.
it's my wife tells me that I've actually done too much, and now they're like, they're like on, entrepreneurs on steroids at like age 12 and 14, and they've yeah, it's been a journey to watch. It's also been really intrinsically enjoying being a business owner, and being able to have your children grow up in the business and learn the importance of everything that happens behind the scenes, because there's so much that happens behind the scenes that your staff or your customers never see, and that's really what makes the difference in a company and what makes things tick.
Mhm, mhm. Fantastic. As far as, the total investment is concerned, when I think about daycares, I typically am thinking like multiple millions of dollars, very large location. How large are your locations typically? What is an all-in investment range?
Yeah, we're about a third of the cost of the big name daycares that you just named off. A third. So we're at the time of this recording, we'll just say kind of around round numbers, around 700,000 for all in. Size wise, I'm looking at about a 6,000 square foot building that we rent. We
Mm,
go find a location. We renovate it to Ivybrook standards, which is keeping the cost extremely down, because your Primroses and your Goddards of the world, great. I love new construction. Like I said, I've been in real estate for a long time, since age 19, but it also prevents extreme barriers to entry for people that love this industry. They want to get into it, but they can't afford a $3 million investment or get approved for it.
mhm.
That's a massive barrier of entry. So we've really brought that cost down. That was intentional from day one for us to be able to do that. So hopefully that answers your questions of kind of a rough target size of a building, and also kind of a rough target cost as well.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. And can people use an SBA loan to finance a portion of that?
They sure can. Yep.
Great,
Very,
great.
I would say over 50% of our franchise owners are using SBA loans.
That is what I would expect. So that
Yeah.
makes sense. Do you, have any specific franchisee success stories you can speak to just sort of give
Mm.
our listeners a sense for, here's how someone else has done this and what their journey looked like?
Yeah. Everyone has, if you don't have a proud parent story, as a parent of a child, or as a franchisor of a franchisee, then you're in the wrong business, because I love giving credit where credit's due. Um, our amazing franchise owners in Hendersonville, Tennessee, they they purchased a license for a franchise, and they didn't know what city they wanted to live in yet. And they're like, where's the best place to move to set us up for success and to start a family? Love that. They went all in on day one. And not only have they created in a very short period of time raving fans for their location, but they have done such a good job that a franchisor has the ability to nominate a candidate to the International Franchise Association once a year to be considered to be the franchisee of the year. And not only 2 years ago were they accepted as a nominee, but they won that award. So Ivybrook
Wow.
Academy has a franchisee basically of the world that has won in 2022. And props to them, because they deserve it. They have amazing fans, amazing customers, and they really exemplify what Ivybrook Academy is all about.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing that people always ask me at first is like, what is the item 19 earnings claim? I know as a franchisor, you have to be a little careful on what you say, but can you give us just like a high level overview of what people should expect?
Yeah, absolutely. I love, and if your audience is not familiar with item 19, it's the financial representation part of what a franchisor puts out. And what's interesting about the item 19 is, there's certain things that are required. You're required to put in a profit and loss statement average for your company. But we want to go above and beyond. I want to give our people that are looking at our company full transparency. And, we put in there the average tuition rates for our company. We're putting in there the average rental cost. We're putting in things that are above and beyond, not required by the federal government, but also I think is extremely important, because people need to learn as much as they possibly can, because this is a big decision. Not only is it a big investment, but it's also the next, several years of their life. And I'm a big believer, probably by being in the education business, that education is everything. And the more information that you're able to give someone to be able to make informed decisions is going to be able to set somebody up better for success in life. So happy to always share that. And I know people can come through you and kind of gain that documentation for us to be able to share that with them.
Appreciate you sharing that. Last question. What are the top reasons, and this might be a slightly repetitive, but what are the top reasons if somebody is considering buying a franchise, they should look at Ivybrook?
Yeah. Ooh, love that question. Number one is how about doing good, right? And I know we've talked about that, and it probably sounds overstated, but for the listening audience that you have that say, man, I'm burnt out on corporate America. I want to be able to replace, my W-2 income, but at the same time, I want to feel good about what I do at night and not just sell widgets or, change oil. Then this probably resonates, with them. So yeah, doing good. And number two is being able to replace your income of what you have, right? That's success. Number three, let's talk about culture. I don't think that is really mentioned enough. People that are looking to get into a franchise company or organization, they should take a deep dive on the culture, right? Not just listening to a podcast or talking to somebody, but you better talk to the franchisees, right? Talk to those franchise owners. What is it really like behind the scenes, right? You need to fly out and come to a corporate location, come to a corporate center, and you need to look behind the scenes, and you need to find out exactly what the company culture is. And what I tell people, and we have people, once a month we host what we call a validation day or a discovery day, where you can come in and kind of meet the founders, meet my whole staff, a dozen people, and see how an operation runs. It's okay if somebody comes and says, hey, this isn't the right fit. It's just as, I think, important in the education process to explore everything to the fullest degree as it is to say yes, right? So those things, and checking out the company culture and learning as much as you possibly can before making a informed decisions, as I mentioned before, is super, super powerful. But I love the company culture we have. It's been around for 18 years and not going to change a thing about it. Love our people.
That's awesome. Really love to hear that story, and what you guys are all about. Any last words as far as, things I didn't ask about that you want to get in?
Yeah, just, learning, right? Talking to, smart, educated people like yourself about all the opportunities that are out there, I think is extremely important. The last thing I would say is, knowing yourself, right? As far as your candidates, like really taking a deep dive in, what their personality is. We do really well with people that are, I'll call extroverts, right? I call it, air quotes, playing mayor of your community, playing mayor of your school, being able to shake hands and kiss babies. Post COVID, we don't kiss babies. But that's just kind of the analogy of someone that can be the mayor. They know themselves, right? Somebody that wants to just be behind a laptop in a back room, probably not the right fit. So know yourself. It's okay, because there's an opportunity for everybody out there.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you coming on, Drew. It was great chatting with you here and looking forward to working together here in the future.
Truly a pleasure, and always happy to help answer any questions for anybody that ever wants to reach out to either one of us.
Awesome.